Hi, everybody. Scott Fuller here, founder of leavingthebayarea.com, and welcome to another edition of our Market Insider series, where every episode we travel the country to different areas to show where people are moving to from California and also from other areas as well. Today, I'm super excited. We are going to Jacksonville, Florida. We're talking with Lauren Summers and Steve Croy in Jacksonville with eXp Realty. Welcome, guys.
Hey.
Hey, how you doing today?
I'm fantastic. How about yourself?
So far, so good.
So far, a great day. It's a Friday.
Fantastic. Looks like I see the background there, the backdrop. Looks like a little windy, but some nice weather. So good way to start the Friday, right?
Absolutely. A little cooler out. Nice.
Excellent. Well, hey, appreciate you guys joining us today. So for those of you who are watching this, it's your first time watching, we're going to take about 45, 50 minutes, and we're going to do a high-level overview. Everything that we think is important to you to know about Jacksonville, including, cost of living, housing prices, taxes, industry, employment, climate, all of that good stuff. We're going to pack this in and hopefully give you a very good overview of what's happening. And then, if you wanted to get some more detail, of course, we can get you in touch with our partners to go a little bit deeper into some of that information. But guys, thanks again for joining me. So let's talk a little bit, before we get into some of the areas and the prices and things like that. I've heard of a lot of people moving into Florida. Now, we have people that are coming from California, and some of them make their way over to Florida. I'm sure you guys have a lot of people from the Northeast that are coming down to, your area. Tell us a little bit about, kind of the profile of people that you're seeing come in. Are they coming in for jobs? Are they coming in for retirement, or maybe a mix?
Definitely a mix. I would say here we're seeing kind of three main people. The people who are relocating for jobs, people who are coming for retirement, and then those that are also looking to have a little bit better cost of living. Jacksonville is still reasonably affordable, and your dollar goes quite a bit further here. We've had a couple of people from up north who've been looking at taxes and stuff like that who have found it really attractive down here.
Yeah, the military.
And the military.
Yeah, always having military people coming in. We have three different stations here in Jacksonville. One at Mayport Jacks, we have NAS Jacks, and we have Cecil, but also the submarine base just a little north of here at Brunswick.
Awesome. And it always amazes me because I see, and we're going to get a taste of this in a minute. You're going to show us what you can get for a certain price point. I don't understand it because California, we're on the coast. We've got beaches. We've got the ocean here. You guys have the same thing over there, but at a fraction of the cost. And it blows my mind how, it's so affordable there. So I'm excited to kind of look at that a little bit further.
I'm a Jacksonville native, so I've managed to enjoy that for all of my years and my years in business. So, but yeah, it is something that is great about our community here is that you are able to have that dollar go a little bit further.
Awesome. Well, let's jump into it. I know that you guys put together, a few different communities that you're seeing a lot of growth in, where you're seeing people move to. If you want to go ahead and screen share and kind of give us, a taste of what you can get for what price, and maybe where some of these areas are located in proximity to the downtown area.
Sure.
Absolutely. We'll start here. This is our custom search site. We'll start off with. This is where we can showcase a lot of our homes and the areas and the properties that we actually participate in selling and buyers, and also listing for our sellers. The area itself, the Jacksonville area. I mean, as Lauren likes to say, I mean, it's a big small town.
It is.
It's one of these things where you can drive for what, or 20,
45 an hour, and you're still in
almost
Jacksonville.
an hour sometimes in traffic, and you're still in Jacksonville. So
Got
Jacksonville is I guess you would call this the largest.
It's the largest landmass city in the continental United States.
Yep, outside of one in.
It is. It's the largest city landmass. There's a couple in Alaska that are bigger that are still part of the United States, but as far as continental, we're it.
Absolutely. So like the downtown core area, the urban core, that is, very nicely done. They got some nice, you saw the picture we just had, shoot back, this is the downtown, South Bank, North Bank area. But as the you go away from downtown, you got the beaches, you've got some west side, you've got some north side and some of the fishing areas, and then down south you got some of the nice booming areas of St. Johns County. That's been a big popular move point, and the schools up there or down there have been just expanding exponentially. Absolutely. But on this screen, we're highlighting the beaches area. This is the first area we're going to kind of talk about. The beaches anywhere. This intercoastal waterway runs just north and south through Jacksonville. I mean, there's a lot of water in Jacksonville. Let me just zoom out for a second. The river, the St. Johns River, runs right through downtown, and it's only one of the few rivers in the world that actually flows north. All the springs.
Is that right?
Okay. Yeah, it actually flows. Most rivers flow south. This one is actually an interesting river because it actually flows north. Coming down from south in the south area down Orlando, there's a lot of springs, and all these springs feed the St. Johns River. So it's a very lively river. It comes right through downtown Jacksonville, and because of that, and the fishing, the saltwater action we get a lot of fishing here, a lot of waterway, a lot of fun, a lot of water.
There's there's some things around town that you'll see called Seven Bridges. There are 7 bridges in Jacksonville that go over the St. Johns River just to get to one part of Jacksonville to another. So, and that doesn't include the intercoastal bridges or anything else like that. So, lots of water. 7 bridges starting down here in Orange Park and going through downtown, and then swinging around to the east side, the Bonaparte Bridge, also called the Danes Point Bridge. These bridges are 7 bridges to get across the river. If you don't have those bridges, you're not going from one side to the other. You're not going anywhere.
There is a ferry though. I will touch on
the ferry.
Yeah, the Mayport ferry has a ferry that goes across the actual river right here in the Mayport area. That's a very nice. They've tried for years thinking about closing it down, but every time they do that, there's been an organization or something to step up to help it out. So the ferry's kind of nice.
Still fun stuff.
Yeah.
But what Stephen was starting to talk about that we're going to go into here is the actual beaches. It's one strip of land, but it's actually several different cities. You've got Atlantic Beach, Neptune Beach, Jacksonville Beach, and then Ponte Vedra Beach, all down that waterfront side of the state. So I'm going to let you take it as well.
Yeah, and now the beaches right now. There are some some properties in there that you can get in. For under 400,000, very, very few, because that market during the downturn, it went low like many areas, but it came back, was one of the first areas in Jacksonville that came back the healthiest. And we're seeing, prices continually go up. Right now we're seeing the market change a little bit more of a correction. But there's, as you see on the map here, I mean, you can get anywhere from 3s and 4s, there's some 5s, some 7s, some 8s, and there's even some ones over the $1 million mark. Here on the left screen, I mean, these are some of the most current ones that are just hitting the market. Obviously, 485, 399, 500. There's some condos on the beach as well. Like this one here is actually on First Street, which actually overlooks the ocean. Some new construction for 550. Got some beautiful views. The beach here in Jacksonville has a lot of beach. It's not like South Florida. I actually grew up in South Florida, Fort Lauderdale. The beach is very short. This, you can get to the beach, you get to the sand, and you've got some kind of a football field to get to the water. It's kind of nice. A lot of area to play, ride bike, a lot of areas to kind of have family outings, kind of get together, things like that. So it's a little bit different. Some people don't like the extra walk to the water, but at the same time, it has a lot of fun area.
And it's easily accessible. We have a lot of great city parking. So if you decide to be at the beach, a lot of these places that we're talking about that are reasonable in those 400s, they're walking and biking distance to the ocean. But if you decide that you want to live in a different part of town, there's plenty of free beach accesses all along the waterway.
Absolutely.
So the properties that I'm looking at on your map here, east of, it looks like the highway, A1A, are those detached? Are those kind of a combo? Or are those like some of those, mid-rise condos that we saw?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
A little bit of both. Some are attached, some are detached. You do find some duplexes and triplexes in Jack's Beach. A lot of the condos, the high rises on the beach, but the homes, a lot of the homes are going to be single family detached, like this one here.
Right. The ones that are on the ocean, down in Jack Beach, those are typically the ones that are higher priced are going to be condos because you're going to be actually on the sand.
On the beach.
But it's feasible, yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Clicking into here, I'll go to our features listing. This is one that we pulled up. This is a newer construction home, full home. You can see where it's located, not just very easily walkable distance. It's in an area called the Avalon area, very, very popular area. It's got, literally like a couple 100 yards to the ocean. A lot of new construction there. It has like the beachy feel, the Key Westy feel. We find that a lot in Jacksonville. They brought that up from South Florida. The coastal, absolute, more relaxed feel of the ocean, feel of the inside, outside, the shiplap, the hardwood floors, or the, coastal hardwoods and things like that.
But these being newer homes, you have those 2-car garages, you have the open concept, you've got 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2,500 square feet, walking distance to the beach, and brand new construction under $1 million, you got a 2,500, 3,000 square foot house with a pool. So it's pretty reasonable.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of the misconception about North Florida is, people think, oh, well, you don't need a pool, or not people don't want a pool because you think it gets too cold here. We have kind of a nice mix here. I mean, we get cold, we get hot, but we don't typically get snow. I mean, once every 30 years we'll get snow. And the nice thing about the cold days is wait a couple of hours in the noon time, and you're just sitting in your jacket and you're back outside enjoying it.
So this house right here, what's the price again, and the square footage beds bath?
Yeah, this was 985. It's just under $1 million. It's like Lauren said, between 25 and 3,000. It's just right at the 3,000 mark. 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. Definitely is priced accordingly based on the year it was built. This was built in 2013, so it's not new, but it's newer construction, considered newer construction. They continue to change the codes here in Jacksonville, and the codes are allowing us to get more windproofing and storms that do roll in from time to time. They are upgrading the building codes.
Yeah, and we're
has a
knock on wood. Jacksonville has done fairly well the last couple of hurricanes that have even come close. So we continue to see that that little pocket that Jacksonville falls into on the state on the code continue to protect us.
Absolutely. Definitely. So that's the first one of Jack's Beach that we wanted to touch on. And then I think we mentioned there was this other one in Jack's Beach, which was a condominium. Obviously, it's an attached home. It's going to be up on I want to say it's the 7th floor. Yep, 7th floor. So it's got some elevation to it. You're looking out. It's not on the beach. It's looking out over the beach. Most of the ones on the beach will be typically closer to the $1 million, if not a little bit more than $1 million. This one here has got a really good value. Again, built in 2007 with some newer codes. 3 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, 2,500 square feet.
That's a big condo right there.
It is, and we find them sometimes up to 4,000. I mean, there's a lot of the professionals that are retiring or they're moving out of downtown. They'll come to the beaches and get a large condo.
Yeah. And so you've got the view. You're a block away. You've got the view. Well under $1 million. Got a lot of square footage. I mean, that seems like that's a great opportunity, something like that.
So you're going to put an offering on this one.
Absolutely, beautiful view.
Absolutely, let's do it. I'm ready to go. Need a vacation spot.
You have the top around deck. You have the gorgeous view. You have the square footage. You're not trapped inside. You've got all the natural sunlight. So that dollar for under $1 million, basically on the beach.
Yeah. Very panoramic with the 2 sides. You're not just having one set of windows looking out. You've got mostly around the corners.
But we do still have those starter homes in Jack's Beach and Neptune Beach that are in the 3s and 4s that are a couple more blocks off the ocean that, your Viking you can kind of move your way up into, as your family continues to grow and you see your business continue to grow.
Yep. like in the Jacks Beach area, I'm going to go with this one here, the 485 one, right?
Yep.
This is one that she just kind of mentioned. She mentioned one that, you know, it's not too far from the beach, as you see. You know, the coast is not too far. You're probably, what, about 6-8 blocks away?
It's definitely biking.
Definitely biking. You know, there's, you know, you got the 2-car garage. You got the paver, you know, the paver driveway. You know, you get the gazebo and the outdoor living, very coastal still. You got the nice coastal feeling with the floors. You know, got some, and this is not a new home. This has been renovated. It appears. You got some newer
like
styles.
Nice job on it.
Yeah. We're finding a lot of the white cabinets and the darker granite, different motions in it as part of the design. But this home here for 485, it's 1,700 square feet, 1,708, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath. Definitely, you know, built in 1989, so it's a little bit before the 2000 mark. But it definitely has a nice beachy feel as for that family that's, you know, growing into, you know, a nicer home.
Yeah.
You know what I like about the photos here, and I think that this has been on all 3 properties you've showed us, is it gives an aerial view showing proximity to the ocean. That's great.
We find that being very helpful, having that aerial kind of give us an idea. Our photographers that we work with, we specifically do that if we're close to downtown or waterways, or you know, if it's in town center, we have the Top Golf and all that's there. We want to show the whole, get the good feel. It's a lifestyle, depending on where you're going to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right. So moving on.
There's some of the beaches. We're going to jump into another community that is definitely, it's different, but it's, you know, Jacksonville, again, being that largest landmass city, but you will find a pocket of Jacksonville, and that's where you live, that's where you stay, that's where you find your friends, that's where your kids go to school, and so on. So Nocatee is a brand new community, and it is a master plan community. So it's basically all inclusive, meaning that you have your entertainment, your restaurants, your schools. It has a splash park. It's got a water park. It's got, you know, kayaks for the preserves. It's got, you know, you can take your golf cart out there. Your kids can run around. It's one of those, you live there, your friends are there, everything is there. And so that is still building right now, but it's a pretty cool development. And a lot of what is nice about Jacksonville, because we're in Northeast Florida, is we still have trees other than just palm trees. And so you have preserve views, you have, you know, trees behind you, and you still have a lot of privacy with some of those lots back in there where they're building new. So they haven't cleared out entire, you know, miles of growth. They're, you know, making the neighborhood fit into the preserve and into the community and into the natural surroundings, so that you're not looking at just a bunch of flat desert dirt.
Yeah, they are keeping the preserve feel for these homes, for sure.
So right now, Nocatee is kind of a mix between newer construction, and then homes that are still being built, right?
Yeah, and I would say it's newer construction, probably around 2009 till now. So, and again, being that master plan community, everything is there. And but you can still have a pool in your backyard. You can still have the trees and the preserve views, and you can send your kids up to the water park so they can go play with splash play.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we're finding that if you want an existing home, you want to move in right away, those are available. Those are still reasonable. You know, homes in this community they've got mixed living communities. You can have they've got some that are closer to the town center of Nocatee that are 0 lot lines. So almost no upkeep, a little bit less expensive, not quite a townhome, but similar. And then you've got some existing constructions that's in the 3s to 6s. And then you've got new construction, which is it's still pretty livable here, 2, 3s to 7s to 8s, depending on what size community that you want to do. So, you know, we've got some great builders out there, some national builders, like who's out there? My mind's just completely blank.
I mean, we've got the big ones from the nation. I mean, you got KB, you got Pulte, you got, you know,
a Dreamfinders.
D.R. Horton. Dreamfinders has become more of a nation's builder.
Yeah, we've got
here in Jacksonville, but they've done really big.
We've also got some, so ICI is also out there.
David Weekley's
out there. And we've got some local builders as well that are unique to this they like Providence, Riverside, which really understand what they're building out there. So, you can go in and build what you want from scratch. And we do have a very high-end builder out there called Pineapple that's building, the million plus. So it's truly a full range for whatever you want to do.
So how much was this property again?
This one here, 25 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, 629.5.
Got it.
With a pool.
But built in full already. Built in 2017, so it's just you look like it was just built basically, but it's
great finishes on that. Yeah, that's nice.
You like that? Yeah, now this is a specific David Weekley home. The David Weekley builder does really well here in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I had a couple just built in there with Riverside, which is one of our more local builders, and they did a 2,200 square foot, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, and we were in the low 4s when they picked everything and all the upgrades that they wanted to do with the builder. So
awesome.
Pretty reasonable.
I would say it's very reasonable compared to what we see out here in California. Very reasonable.
I would say that this one here on Willow Ridge is probably one of the smaller homes, but still in Nocatee, still benefiting from all the things that Lauren talked about with like the schools and the water parks and the master plan development. This one's a little bit smaller, doesn't have the pool. It does have nice finishes. It is a newer home. It looks like a Lennar actually, and Lennar's another builder that we have here in town.
Yeah, and so there's also and we might
the preserve out back.
Yeah.
Earlier, that preserve view is what the builders really try to use that as an advantage.
Yeah.
To have that little bit of a buffer, so you're not up against homes left and right.
Yeah, no, that's nice. Good backdrop.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's in like what we say, like the mid 300s. That's what you can expect. And how big was that home?
Yeah. This one is 2126.
Okay, so a really good size 3-bedroom. Yeah.
Yeah, very good size. Yeah, for a 3-bedroom, that is oversized. Definitely.
So talk to me about the typical profile, buyer for maybe this type of a property. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, looks like it's relatively low maintenance. It's newer. Is this going to be, a family, maybe a starter home, or is this going to be, kind of a retiree last home?
This is a great family home for somebody who's got those kids. They want to be in St. Johns County. Jacksonville, Duval County, and St. Johns County schools are rated A through F. St. Johns County and in particular Nocatee is building new schools, and they are A rated. So a lot of people are moving to St. Johns County because they want their kids to go through that school system, and because they're going to this master plan community, the kids are developing relationships in elementary school, then middle school, then high school. So they're seeing that continuous that you really love your children to have. Nocatee itself does have a 55 plus community that's being built by a company called Cal Atlantic in Artisan Lake. I can touch on base on that now, or we can touch base on it later.
Let me bring up the schools also in St. Johns County. They're doing what's called a K through 8.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different mindset, but a lot of parents do like that. It does help foster friendships and camaraderie with the students at the lower levels, from kindergarten all the way to 8th grade. They still have the high schools after that, but a lot of Duval will have K through 5, and then a middle school 6 through 8, 6, 7, 8. Then they have to jump again to high school 9 through 12. So
still high rated in the city and the state.
Are those the K through 8? Is that a charter or is that public?
Those are public schools. Schools. That's why we're responding to the St. Johns counties, because the A-rated schools, and they're brand new, and they've got a really good mindset on how they're setting them up.
But in Duval County, you still have schools and charter schools that you do have the election to send your kids to. They have scientific technology types of charter schools, art charter schools. They've got a couple of specific languages here in Jacksonville. I think there's a vocational, and there's a Russian charter school, and so lots of unique things that you can put your kids into around here.
Very cool. Did you guys have another area that you wanted to show? Because I do want to get into the adult community, but I want to make sure we cover, the areas that you guys were interested in showcasing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let me go ahead and move over to Mandarin. Now, Mandarin is sort of like the best of both worlds. It's got a lot of the preserve feel, but it also has it has some water. So there's some waterfront in there as well. There's some new construction, and then there's some existing construction that are fairly, good priced. You can turn around and you can get into Mandarin sometimes in the low twos, even sometimes very seldomly, but you will find them under two, smaller homes. But in the 32223 zip code, which is what we're highlighting today in Mandarin, you'll see anywhere from the twos on up to the threes, and then you'll see on the riverfront, obviously, the $1 million homes. Very beautiful.
That went up really fast.
Goes up really quick. It starts at 2 here at 234. My son actually, my younger son bought a house literally right here. For like 205 last year on the first time home buyer program.
And then that's awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing.
He finally got his act together at 21. We're like,
very well.
We're very pleased.
Yep. And then you have the 300s, the 400s, as you see as it gets closer. But you do have some 200s, closer to the water that are in smaller neighborhoods, around the Mandarin Point, and this is the area that everybody likes to flock to. This is a very like a peninsula style, kind of a nice nature.
It's established. It's nature. There's gorgeous trees and roads out there, but it still has great schools. Again, those A-rated schools, and it still has that community feel. So people here, because Jacksonville is that large city, you drive for 20, 45 minutes, you're still in Jacksonville, but when you ask somebody where they live, they say Mandarin, everybody knows what you're talking about. Everybody knows.
Kind of like those suburbs, right?
Yeah, so when we were talking about the beaches earlier, those people, the beaches, they don't cross what we call the ditch. The intercoastal is called the ditch here. So people in the beaches aren't crossing the ditch.
That's the technical term for it, right? The ditch.
It is.
Very much so. And as on the left side, you'll see, some of the price points here. 200s, 400s. Even the 800s, close to the river. It's kind of, you get the best of both worlds with Mandarin. Very popular area.
Yeah.
So how far is this area? How far would this be to downtown Jacksonville?
That's the other joke with me. I always say that Jacksonville's the biggest small town, and I also say that if you ask somebody how long it's going to take you to get somewhere, they're going to tell you 20 minutes. Yeah. It actually ever takes 20 minutes, but they're going to tell you 20 minutes. But I would say from Mandarin to downtown Jacksonville, I got a customer that was looking at Mandarin. They were about 25, 35 minutes, depending on traffic. So, not too far away from that core. You are going to do some driving in Jacksonville.
Yeah, same as the beaches. If you're out here at the beaches and you're in Mandarin, you're with no traffic, you're about 20, 25. With traffic, you get to 20, 30,
35.
35, 40 easily. And if you get into major traffic, obviously, even worse.
It's totally reasonable, right? It's like, for example, I had to drive, from east of San Francisco to south of San Francisco this morning, and it took me, I left at 5 a.m., so it only took 45 minutes, but typically that hour is going to take about 2 hours. So it's all relative distance to actually time spent on the road, and 20 to 25 minutes is, to me, reasonable.
Right, and so Jacksonville has some great, we have I-95 that runs through downtown and on south. We also, they're continuing construction out there. They've built a loop, that thing that says 295 on our screen. It goes all the way around the city. You can jump on and off 295, so it's fairly helpful.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about some of the 55 plus communities, because a lot of the people that we're working with and that are moving out of California are looking specifically for a 55 plus because they want to take advantage of some of the awesome activities and everything that they've built out in some of those communities. And frankly, some of those communities are just amazing. So walk us through maybe one of these communities and what a general price point might be, and maybe what some of those amenities are, what you can get for your money there.
Sure. I've actually pulled up one here that she's looking at now. It's called Artisan Lakes. It's over in Nocatee, that same develop that we were talking about. That is that master plan community where you can be there. And especially with this 55 plus community, you really don't have to leave. It has a clubhouse, it has a fitness center, it has a demonstration kitchen. They've got people coming in and doing events. They have a zero entry pool, so which is really nice for, cool. As you get a little bit older, but you're still in a home. They have pickleball and bocce ball, an event planner. They have putting greens. There's 196 home sites in this community, starting in the 300s. So it's still very, very reasonable. And because it is that 55 plus community, it does have those, those activities and that centers, but it's, they're taking care of the lawns and they're doing all of those things so that you're really enjoying your life instead of worrying about that.
What would be like an average HOA do that I would have in a community like this to have those amenities and activities?
Sure. Well, this one being a little bit different, I want to say that their HOAs, and I could be off a bit, is around $190 a month for that community that they're keeping up with everything. So those can vary based on house size and based on neighborhood, and again based on if they are bringing somebody in or you're paying for that kind of thing. But they are pretty dang reasonable.
Got it. Okay, perfect.
And then what's about Nocatee is that it is pretty close to Ponte Vedra, where you've got TPC, you got Ponte Vedra Inn, you've got Sawgrass Country Club, so you've got some really great golfing out there as well.
So let's, you've given us some great examples of housing, and then we've talked about, a master plan adult community, and I know that there's several there that, are great options for people who are looking for, the 55 plus. Let's talk a little bit about, healthcare. If you don't mind closing off your screen share, we can get a little bit more detail. So tell us, a lot of folks are, if they're coming in, and we hear this concern all the time, if they're going to be moving to an area, healthcare is, really important to them, right? Because they want to make sure, that they're close to, close proximity to healthcare services and things like that. So tell us a little bit about, what's popular there. I think you guys have a Mayo Clinic there, which is huge. But tell us, give us some insight.
Yeah, Mayo Clinic is here. We're very fortunate to have that. That hospital actually has continued to grow in the area. I think they've doubled in size, that Mayo Clinic, over the last couple of years. So that being, that top-notch, care that you can get in the hospital system, we're very fortunate to have that. Also, there are several other hospitals in town that you can go to that are partnered with other people. For example, Baptist Behavioral or Baptist Systems down here is a local hospital that has about 9,000 employees. They've actually partnered with MD Anderson Cancer Center. And we also have specialties for children. So we have Wilson Children's Hospital, Nemours Children's Hospital. We have a Ronald McDonald House here. Yep. So we have lots of healthcare options for you. And then the last big ones are St. Vincent's, which is, again, another local one. And then we have UF Shands, which is actually partnered with University of Florida. So you can get pretty much any kind of healthcare you need here. And, again, that Mayo Clinic being that, there's not too many of those around the country.
We've had people come here just for the hospitals here. I mean, just specifically. Yeah. And now with the MD Anderson, partnership with Baptist, that's going to definitely add on to that.
Right.
And like you said earlier, Lauren, everything is within 20 minutes, right? So pretty much, you're going to be within 20 minutes to, a great healthcare service provider, hospital, clinic, whatever you need.
You'll be well taken care of here in Jacksonville, yes.
Awesome. So for the people that are coming out and, no, let's say not retirees, but, people that are coming out maybe for a job opportunity. Talk to us a little bit about, some of the industry there, diversification of industry, some of the growth and what you're seeing growth in, whether industry or, company-wise.
Right. So there's actually quite a few companies here that are located here in Jacksonville that people don't realize. CSX Transportation is out of here. They run the train system up and down the East Coast. We do have Naval Station Jax and Naval Station out at Mayport, so we are a military city. Amazon just opened a distribution center here. One of the funny companies that people don't realize how big it is a company called Fanatics. It's about 6,000 employees, and anytime that you order something online with any kind of football, MLB, any kind of sports logo on it, you're getting it from here in Jacksonville. They're producing all of that.
I've heard of that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so they started here a couple years ago, and they were about 80 employees, and now they're 6,000. So we're continuing to see growth in multiple areas. We do have Jacksport here, which allows us for that kind of community. The majority of the industry here in Jacksonville is health systems. Florida Blue is based out of here, so all of Blue Cross Blue Shield out of Florida is based here in Jacksonville. And then investment. Fidelity is out here as well. So we've got quite a few things going on.
So pretty diverse, right? You guys, I mean, a lot of growth going on there, a lot of employment opportunities.
Yeah, we've seen employment go up by about 6% or so in various industries, so from 3 to 6%, depending on what industry you're looking for.
You just need the football team.
What's that?
We just need our football team to win.
We just need a football team to win. You know,
Yeah,
I mean, we got last year, and then we got hurt, and now we're, hoping a better game than this week in Houston. So.
Right.
Your time's coming. It's got to go back to growth stage, right? Go back to the basics.
Funny enough that a big name in the financial industry, TIA, actually owns our stadium here. They own the naming rights to our stadium, and they're a big employer here. They just bought a company called Everbank, which is a bank that was built here in Jacksonville that grew to about 6,000 employees that TIA just bought out. So.
Okay. Well, Steve, you could be experiencing what we're experiencing here. Your team could actually be leaving in a year and be gone, which is the Oakland Raiders, soon to be the Las Vegas Raiders. Not necessarily my team, but for a lot of people around here, that's a favorite. So,
right, true.
Let's talk about transportation a little bit, because you've mentioned that it's maybe 20-25 minutes wherever you're going, kind of a continuous city, a lot of bridges. You have toll roads, I assume.
We actually have not had toll roads for years. They just opened an optional toll road down 295. It's the first toll road that's been here in 35 years.
Yeah, they vow never to have toll roads ever again. But what they've done is, like Lauren said, they've done this optional lane where you can travel, longer distances within Jacksonville and get on this toll road. They call it SunPass. And SunPass, the one thing I will say good about the SunPass system is that it does allow a more seamless entry and exit, because it's all electronic. You put a sticker on your vehicle, and actually, I don't know how it does it, but it electronically picks it up.
It's like the transponder.
Yeah, they started with the battery transponder with a light, and they went with no light. Now they've gone just a sticker, and it's crazy. But and then you can look at your viewing on on your online account. You can see how many times you've hit the expressway or not. And sometimes you can actually know, not sometimes, but you can definitely have your account replenished.
Right, but I mean,
mine's replenished automatically.
For the most part, the major travel systems here in Jacksonville are not toll. That's the only one that is. But you still get around in that 25 to 35 minutes, obviously a little bit longer with traffic. But the road systems here are pretty good. Other modes of transportation, Jacksonville does have an international airport, so you can go in and out of that so it is international, so it does go, over to Europe and, down south and stuff like that. And then I-95 goes straight through Jacksonville. A1A goes straight through Jacksonville. So there's that I-295 loop that goes around the entire city.
The loop goes around, and then now with St. Johns County, they've got some other roads tied into 295. 795 is coming, things like that. That's going to help the traffic flow. So definitely they're keeping an eye on it. And even though they are bringing back some tolls, I think it's going to be specialized and used by certain people that need to get on that longer run. So it's going to be okay.
Well, and that could be a nice option to have, and they're implementing that throughout the Bay Area. You'll have the toll lane, which you're going to pay extra to be in it, which, may or may not get you any farther. It's usually the same standstill as you are otherwise. But I guess South Florida is more likely to have the toll roads, right? Where you, at least at one time, you had to stop and throw some change in the bucket. And
that was the South Florida. Yeah, the buckets and the dimes, the quarters, and big old bucket you just throw in there.
We've been fortunate enough that we haven't had to go that toll road route with some of the expansion that we've had. Jacksonville has done a pretty good job of expansion correctly, so that when we're adding roads, we're not looking to tax our residents.
Right. That's a great segue. Let's talk about that then, Lauren. So with taxes, the things that nobody likes to talk about, but we're gonna bring it up anyway, just for fun.
Right.
Let's do a comparison. So Florida does not have a state income tax. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
No state income tax.
So if there's no state income tax, how much are the property taxes? Like if you were to say, a percentage of assessed value on a property, what would that percentage look like?
They have what's called a millage rate, and basically for every $100,000 of taxable assessed value, Duval County is a little bit more than St. Johns County.
Yeah.
Duval's, I think, a little over 18.31. Yeah. So for every 100,000, you're about 1,800 in taxes and change. Now there is the homestead exemption that you would get taken off of that. So you do have up to a $50,000 reduction, but schools don't get reduced, so you end up getting like a net reduction of 37.5 is what we say.
Right. So, for the houses that we've been looking at in St. John's and Duval County, when you're looking at a $400,000 house with a, homestead exemption, what would you say that annual tax bill would be?
Well, the savings, I'll say the savings. The savings for a homestead is going to be somewhere around $700 to $750 a year.
Mm-hmm.
And you were saying the homes that were 400. If you're about 1,800 a year, 18 times, 4 times, you're going to be at 7,200.
Yeah, so I would say
minus the 7,400.
Yeah, so you're looking at about $6,500 a year in taxes.
$5,500 a year in taxes. Okay.
Yeah,
that seems reasonable.
We've had some people that have relocated from New York and New Jersey, where they're looking at, their $200,000 house that they built, 25 years ago. Their tax bill is $17,000 a year. They're coming down here spending $6,000 a year on a $400,000 house that's got a pool in the back. So it's very, people really enjoy that about our state and our city.
Yeah, no, that's nice. And I think here, so that tells me that you guys maybe somewhere 1%, over 1% on yours. Our effective rate is, maybe 1.25%. And if there's some assessments, things we call Melrose, different types of, additions onto that, depending on the community that you're in, you might get up to 1.4%. But the big difference is California state income tax rate, the base is about 7.25%, goes up to about 13.3%. Of course, on a sliding scale based on income. So the state tax, you guys win, big winners there. How much is what's a gallon of gas going to cost right now out there? If I was to fill up premium.
Premium, I know that base is $2.29, so about $2.49 a gallon.
$2.49?
Yep, $2.49.
Awesome. I think we just went under $4. It was a little bit higher earlier this summer, but we're back down. So I think, we're maybe $3.90, $4 for premium. So in this game, lower wins. I think you guys won on that one. And what would you say like your sales tax is?
Our sales tax is actually 7%. And that's, so Duval County is 7%.
That doesn't change.
That doesn't change. That's standard. And that's obviously on things that you're buying that are not, basic goods. Groceries are not taxed. You're buying a gallon of yeah. So 7%, if you're buying a new TV, you're gonna pay a couple cents for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're buying some eggs, gallon of milk, no tax. Okay, that makes sense. We're at about, per county out here, 8.25%. Seems pretty reasonable, pretty much in line with a lot of other areas that we see. So I think you guys win on that too. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what's going on with the weather out there. We've heard all about the recent hurricane that went through, which I think missed you guys and where you're at in Jacksonville. But tell us about what can you expect as far as high temperatures in the summertime, low temperatures in the winter. rainfall, humidity, anything like that?
So, some here are, hot. We're in Florida, so we're called the Sunshine State for a reason. So we do see the temperatures rise, in the 3 digits, so up to about 100 or so, and sometimes humidity can be a little bit heavy here, but that's why we do have so many pools in the ocean and everything else.
Yeah.
And in winter, we're very fortunate. We do probably have a handful of days that maybe reach that freezing point, but nothing really super cold. So, but the nice thing about Jacksonville and Northeast Florida is we do still see a season change, unlike South Florida that just stays kind of summer almost, 85% a year. We do get a spring, summer, and fall and winter here. We do see all 4 of those seasons. Our summers tend to be a little bit longer.
And who doesn't love a longer summer, right?
It's great for if you're going out tanning for the skin. And again, Florida is called the Sunshine State for a reason. But should be in Northeast Florida, we don't necessarily have leaves change, but we do have that temperature shift where it gets a little bit cooler at night. We're in this, 60s and 70s. What's kind of nice about fall here is you'll get into the 60s at night, but you'll be in the 70s. There are a couple times that I've worn shorts to Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh yeah, I fished on Christmas Day, and even in January we've gone offshore fishing in shorts. So it's kind of it's never really the same. It never really gets too cold. Every once in a while you'll get some cold snaps and it'll stay cold for a couple weeks, in the 30s and 40s, off and on, but by noontime, it's back in the 50s, 60s, so it's comfortable.
Yeah, what's nice here about rain is you just wait 5 minutes and it's sunny again.
Exactly, right? Yeah, you don't really know what to expect until it's already happened.
Right.
What about, so one of the photos that we looked at earlier that you showed us had the pool, and it had the netting around the pool. So I'm assuming that's for bugs, right?
It is for the state bird, also known as the mosquito.
The state bird, the mosquito. That's a new one. I haven't heard that. I didn't realize the state bird was a mosquito.
That's a joke. But no, it's kind of twofold. It keeps leaves out of your pool, which is kind of nice here because we do still have, especially in that community that we were showing you about pooling. It's got they want to keep those trees. So the nice thing about Northeast Florida is you do have tree cover. So you're keeping the leaves out of your pool. You're keeping the bugs away during the summer. And then you're also keeping, it's kind of UV block too. So it offers a little bit of sunscreen, believe it or not.
Just a little sunscreen. The downside is the water doesn't get as warm in the summer. Like when you're trying to go from like a winter, spring, you want to jump in the pool, the water will stay a little cooler longer because the sun doesn't get that direct hit to the water.
But that's really super nice during the summer when you want that cool, refreshing jump in.
It is, yeah. So.
Well, and not having to have all the maintenance, right? You don't have a bunch of crap falling into your pool, so it's easier to keep clean, right?
Yeah.
We have a lot of water pools with enclosures down here.
Yeah.
Totally random question here, but I've got to ask it. Do you have those little no-see-ums?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You got them?
I was in Orlando, I don't know, a number of years ago, and I got bit. And I guess they call them no-see-ums. I know that's probably not the technical name for them, but man, you don't see them, and you're bit. I guess you get used to it after a while, right?
No, you try to avoid them or use. It's interesting because there's only certain times of the evening and mornings that
it's usually dusk and dawn.
Yeah, dusk and dawn is when they come out the most, and there's some phrase you use to stay away from them where when not to go out, but they are brutal. They are, they're just some people call them like not sand fleas, but they have like mite.
But no-see-ums is a pretty good technical term.
That is very common.
That's right up there with the ditch.
No-see-ums, they're in Florida, and they just they're horrible. They're horrible.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
I guess you keep a fan going, right? And it's just they can't control where they're going. They just continue to move with any type of motion or wind. So
that's why you want a little bit of breeze.
What's that?
That's why you want a little bit of a breeze. Always want a breeze.
There you go. A little bit of a breeze keeps them moving.
Yeah.
So let's end with some of the more popular things that there is to do in Jacksonville. What do people like to do in the springtime, summer, winter time? What's popular?
Well, as you mentioned, we do have a professional football team. Sometimes they look a little bit more professional than at other times.
Yeah.
But we do have Jaguars. We have a great stadium. And then, we obviously have the beaches. And again, if you're at the beaches, that's, you're typically biking distance or walking distance. If you're not and you want to go drive down there, there's lots and lots of easy access for free, which is actually kind of nice because you're not paying for that. We do have a minor league baseball team called the Jumbo Shrimp.
Jumbo Shrimp?
Yeah.
The Jumbo Shrimp. That's the actual team name.
Shrimp. Yeah.
That's great.
And,
Great new stadium also. So you go watch the Jumbo Shrimp, watch a lot of double hitters a lot of times, sit down there and watch a couple games.
Yeah, I think the most expensive tickets are like $12.
Yeah.
So, easy family fun. We have a great Jacksonville Zoo that was just rebuilt a couple years ago. We have some amazing museums. We've got the Museum of Modern Art here in Jacksonville. We've got the Cummer, which has exhibitions coming through all the time. We've got a great children's museum, which, has something going on every week, every weekend that you want to drop your kids off or, take them, do something like that. And then, because Jacksonville is a big city, we do have a lot of entertainment acts that come through here. We actually just, somebody gave our team tickets to the Rolling Stones. So we, went down to the stadium and watched the Stones, which was kind of fun.
Cool.
But, Dave Matthews coming out here to the Stones, to, smaller bands, doing the St. Augustine Amphitheater. So there's always something going on.
And that's the thing. St. Augustine's only 35, 45 minutes away, right down US 1. So, you could always jump down to St. Augustine, and it just opens up a whole bunch of different options to go down and enjoy a day.
Yeah, or you can go up north to Amelia. Amelia, we were actually there earlier this year. There's the Shrimp Festival at in Fernandina Beach, which is super, super fun and super yummy. And then we were out at Amelia for, they have a classic car show. Yeah, so there's some amazing cars out there that you can go to. Plus, TPC for golf. TPC is actually the biggest purse, so everybody is playing that. Every major golfer is out here playing that.
Always a big one.
Yeah,
it's a big one. So and it's kind of fun. You sit out on the 17th. It's called the Island Green. You watch all the players put their ball in the water.
Not all, but most.
But it's a lot of fun. So there's always something going on.
It's definitely fun. There's always something to do. There's always something to do. From the Shrimp Festival, from the players.
Steve, you're a fisherman, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So what I forgot to mention. So the name of your group with eXp Realty is Real Keeper, and I'm assuming that's what we're talking about, Real Keeper, right? So that's a big thing that you do out there.
Yes.
Awesome.
Fishing there's always something going on with fishing out here that's kind of cool because you got everything from, big fishing off, miles offshore. You're doing the kingfish tournaments, or you've got like inshore bass tournaments.
We got the offshore blue water tournaments. We got the kingfish tournaments that are very popular around here. We got the inshore redfish, trout tournaments, flounder tournaments. There's always something going on fishing-wise here. But yeah, Real Keeper was named after our fishing team, Real Keeper, and Real Keeper Expert Advisors. Definitely follow that suit.
Right, but so you can, and a lot of times here in Jacksonville too, the ocean's pretty flat, which is not great for surfers, but is amazing for fishermen.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. That's awesome.
Pick your day.
So we've covered a lot of great content here. A little bit of everything. Is there anything that you guys want to mention that maybe we didn't cover before we wrap it up?
Goodness, let me touch on.
I'm sure we'll think of something later. That's how I always work.
Well, we got to keep some.
No. But no, I really will go back to what I say. I'm a Jacksonville native. Jacksonville's a really big transplant city. There's not so many of us natives. I've lived here for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So, but it really is the biggest small town. And in that, you're, you have that community feeling where your neighbors.
Yeah.
But you still have big things going on with the NFL, with major acts coming into town. But you have great house pricing, great weather. There's so many things about Jacksonville that are just great, so to speak.
Great to look into. If someone's looking over here, we're here to help you out.
Yeah.
So let's finish up with this. So if somebody was interested in taking a trip out, and let's say they've done some research online, they determined that Jacksonville could be, a great destination for them. You guys happy to have them out and maybe show them around a little bit?
Absolutely. Jacksonville's called the bold new city of the South. We were named a couple of years ago, so we would love to show them around and show them our hospitality. So we do still have some Southern hospitality down here. That's
great. Perfect. Well, you guys have been fantastic. Thanks again for your time and all the great information today. And once again, Lauren Summers, Steve Croy from the Real Keeper Group at eXp Realty. And again, my name is Scott Fuller. If you'd like to contact us regarding getting in contact with our great team here in Jacksonville, info@leavingthebarrier.com. Thanks again, guys. We'll be talking to you soon, and take care.
Bye.
Thanks.
Okay, bye for now.